yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Beat in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then taste it.
Ladies and gents, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you to the greatest motherfucking show on earth, as we are streaming live across 4 different platforms, across 4 different accounts, and we got ourselves a loaded show today as we are starting the month of October right. This is the first ever Lightning Flash update for the month of October 2024. As of course you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the Best Damn X, formerly known as Twitter handle, known to mankind. And I would like to thank each and every single one of you for taking the time out of your day to join me here, as we are just mere hours away from WWE Bad Blood, which of course is streaming live tonight from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, on the Peacock. That is, get your mind out of the gutter, you fucking savages. I swear to God. I swear to God. All of you are just animalistic savages. Peacock, okay? It's a streaming platform. That will be tonight at 6 p.m. You don't normally see PLEs that are on the East Coast stream this early. But you know something? I am not complaining. I'm not complaining whatsoever. Should be a very good show, even though the 5-match format is very, 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 very lame. Triple H is still living in the NXT Black and Gold days, and he really needs to move on from that because NXT Black and Gold is dead. Nevertheless, we got ourselves a lot to discuss, and we got ourselves a lot to go over, including numerous reports regarding Konosuke Takeshita and the rumor that he is set to receive a big push. What should that big push be? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Adam Cole and his recovery. Luchasaurus was hospitalized with pneumonia, so thoughts and prayers go out to Killswitch/Luchasaurus. Bobby Lashley has signed a deal with AEW. He is debuting very, very soon. Shane McMahon, he is going to be brought into AEW. However, the plan is not to have him involved with Jon Moxley's faction. We're going to talk about why that is a mistake and why that should really be the plan from the get-go, and what other options could there be for Shane McMahon. Daniel Garcia has still not yet re-signed with AEW, and of course AEW got their new television deal. AEW officially secured the media rights deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, and supposedly it is near $185 million per year. And we could be seeing a decent amount of profit flow through on AEW's side of the fence. We're going to discuss that, as well as go over Raw, Dynamite, SmackDown, and Rampage before we head into Bad Blood tonight. One more time, thank you very much to everyone who has joined. Thank you very much to Michael Vasquez, the Final Hoss, Mick Chelsea. Greatly appreciate each and every single one of you, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more people join in as the stream goes on. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to hit the super chats, hit the super stickers, hit the super thanks. donate to the channel, become a member of the channel. It is the greatest channel membership that you will ever spend your money on, because why? It goes towards me, a DJ Shizzle Dizzle. Of course, please make sure that you follow me on social media, both on X and Instagram, at HistoryMakerDJS. One more time, at HistoryMakerDJS. Please make sure you add me on my personal Facebook as well. For collaborations and business inquiries, please make sure you send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all those links are in the description, as well as the link to my Rumble account. We are currently streaming live on Rumble right now, and we are looking to build a nice solid fan base over on Rumble. I only need 4 more followers on Rumble to get to 50. It is certainly a longer process on Rumble than it is on YouTube, because I joined Rumble rather late. So if you guys want to help me build that fan base over on Rumble, go and watch me on Rumble, go and like the stream, and become a follower over on Rumble. Also, if you guys want to donate, you can also donate to me through Venmo and Cashapp. My Venmo is at DJ Storms. My Cashapp is the DJ Storms. And you can also send me some money if you want to buy some merch, whether it be DJ Storms wristbands, whether it be a DJ Storms t-shirt, or the greatest piece of merch that you will ever own, the DJ Storm Switchblade comb. And just like me, you will be so good. You will be scrumptious. You will be tasty. And just like everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister, everybody's going to want a piece of you. Go check me out. And of course, buy your DJ Storms merch. My God, my facial hair is on fleek. It always looks on fleek, if we're going to be quite honest. Like the stream no matter where you're watching it from. Be sure that you hit the subscribe button as well and hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, it is the absolute best time to be on YouTube. It is the only time that you are going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. You already know the drill. And finally, I'd like to shout out some sponsorships. We had a lot of sponsorships to shout out, and we will shout them out throughout the stream. Of course, I'd like to start off with one of the newest sponsorships that I brought on, that being Access Self Storage. Let me take a sip of my ice water, and I'll tell you a little bit about Access Self Storage. Now, listen, moving can be hard. Moving can be very, very hard. Moving can be extremely, extremely stressful. But with Access Self Storage, they will be able to make your relocation, no matter where you're relocating, they will be able to make it as smooth, as comfortable as possible. So all you need to do is go and check out my friend Colleen over at Access Self Storage, and she is going to help you gain the proper amount of space that you need to store your personal items before you end up moving into that new location. If you still don't believe me, well, I got some more material to say, so listen up. I'll tell you a little bit about why you should be using Access Self Storage for all of your moving and relocating inquiries. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I got a question for you. How would you like to take the stress out of moving? At Access Self Storage, they understand that moving can be extremely overwhelming, which is why they have designed their buildings for maximum convenience and security. As a family-owned business since 1976, they are the originators and the innovators of the industry. Matter of fact, they opened up the first ever self-storage facility in the greater New York and New Jersey metro area. At Access Self Storage, they listen to what the customer values most, and they offer things such as individual door alarms, extended access hours, free package acceptance, and so much more. So come on in, see my friend Colleen, and tell her that DJ Storm sent you. Access Self Storage. Everything else is just a hole in the wall. Everything else is indeed just a hole in the wall with Access Self-Storage. Thank you very much to my friend Colleen and all of the team members over at Access Self-Storage for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough, which of course is going down in just 13 days on October 19th, 2024. And of course, thank you very much for being an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. I'd also like to shout out a very special sponsor known as America's Pastime. They are a baseball and sports memorabilia store over in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. If you guys are big sports fanatics and you are looking for baseball, football, hockey, basketball cards, and signed memorabilia and equipment throughout all of the great years of sports history, no matter where you may be a fan of sports, whether it be football or basketball or baseball, I'm telling you, America's Pastime is the place for you. Listen up, because me and my friend Rich Budnick are going to tell you why you should be taking a spin on over to America's Pastime, where your favorite sports memories will come back to life. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I got a question for you guys. You ever wish you can go back and relive some of those great sports memories of your favorite player or team from when you were a kid? Well, now you can by paying a visit to America's Pastime. Now, since 1989, America's Pastime has been the premier sports memorabilia store in the tri-state area. Conveniently located just 20 minutes away from the George Washington Bridge, right here in Bergen County, New Jersey, America's Pastime has a vast inventory of collectibles spanning close to 100 years. They carry vintage and current baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, as well as autographed items for any generation of fans. And their roster is matched only by the quality of their collection. And with thousands of happy online customers since 2003, America's Pastime is a perennial all-star in this game. So whether you're just getting into sports collectibles for the first time ever, or you're a serious buyer focused on quality sports memorabilia, you can come on in and see my friend Rich Budnick, and he'll show you the things that you never even dreamed were available to you.
Now, we don't always wear sunglasses here at America's Pastime, so I'm going to take mine off. We carry vintage and modern cards for our customers. I promise you'll get service with a smile, and you'll see some very interesting things here at my store, America's Pastime. We've been in business for 36 years. We've had a retail store for 36 years. We carry supplies. We carry commons and minor stars, as well as wax boxes and packs. You're going to come in here, and you're going to get choices. So come on over and check us out if you haven't for the first time. And if you have, come on back and see all this beautiful vintage and modern cards that we carry. Jackie Robinson, Ty Cobb, Roberto Clemente. How about that?
America's Pastime, where your favorite sports memories come back to life. And your favorite sports memories will indeed come back to life when you take a spin on over to America's Pastime. Thank you very much to Rich Budnick, the owner of America's Pastime, for being an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand and Battle in the Borough. I'd also like to talk about food for a little bit. I know that food is a big topic of discussion. Everyone's always looking for good food now. Well, I'll tell you what, New Jersey is the food capital of the world. We got amazing food, whether it be Chinese food, whether it be Mediterranean food, whether it be Mexican food, and especially Italian food. And I got a place that's just a short walk away from my house right here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. It's called Taste of Italia, run by Mike Rogan and his great team of sandwich craftsmen in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. If you guys are looking for some quality Italian sandwiches, wraps, pastas, and so much more, you should go on over to Taste of Italia. And trust me when I tell you, you will not be disappointed. You still don't believe me? Well, here is a word from your boy as to why you should check out Taste of Italia. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys are in the mood for some mouth-watering Italian specialties, I'll tell you where to go. You see, there's boring delis, there's overrated sandwich shop chains, and then there's Taste of Italia. Since 1993, Mike Rogan's Taste of Italia has been the go-to place in Bergen County for hot and cold subs, wraps, pasta, and so much more. Whether you just need a quick lunch, meal for the family, or top shelf catering for your office function, you know that you're always going to get the best from Taste of Italia. So come on in, see Mike and his team of sandwich craftsmen as they celebrate 30 plus years of eating excellence. Taste of Italia, still the best thing between sliced bread. That is good. And by the way, that sandwich was absolutely fantastic. I was able to have that after I recorded that commercial, and my God, was it good. If you guys are looking for some great Italian subs, I'm telling you, Taste of Italia is the place for you. Thank you very much to Mike Rogan and his team of sandwich craftsmen for being an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand and, of course, of Battle in the Borough. And my final sponsorship I'd like to shout out for right now, I would like to shout out Golden Wheel Driving School. You know, driving is important, and I know that everyone wants to make sure that they are very much equipped when driving. I know a lot of people want to get their training hours in before they go for their actual road test, or maybe some people want a 90-minute refresher course on the rules of the road. Well, I'll tell you what, you can do that by contacting Golden Wheel Driving School, the premier driving school in Bergen County. Listen up, and I'll tell you why it is the place for you to refresh your memory and get you prepared to take your road test whenever that may be. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about Golden Wheel Driving School. Now, did you guys know that since 1997, Golden Wheel Driving School has been the premier driving school in the state of New Jersey? They are renowned for many things, such as using quality driving instructors certified by the New Jersey DMV, using the latest model cars, all equipped with dual controls for maximum safety, and, of course, their commitment to ensuring a reliable learning environment for all of their students. And they also offer flexible packages for all different drivers amongst all different ages. So whether you need a 90-minute refresher course or an 8-hour multi-day beginner's course, Golden Wheel is indeed the place to be. And as you can see, they'll even drive to your house and pick you up. Ain't that right, my friend? So come on down, visit Golden Wheel, New Jersey's premier driving school, now serving both Bergen and Passaic County. Bergen and Passaic County certainly is better with Golden Wheel Driving School a part of it. Thank you very much to all the team members over at Golden Wheel for being an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand and of Battle in the Borough. We will be talking about some more sponsorships a little bit later on in the stream, but I'd like to get into our festivities here. We have a lot to talk about. Let's jump into the news, rumors, and reports, shall we? Well, I got a report from Fightful Select regarding Konosuke Takeshita. Konosuke Takeshita actually got involved in the match this past Wednesday at the Dynamite 5-year anniversary between Will Ospreay and Ricochet. And Konosuke Takeshita caused a disqualification. Apparently, according to Fightful, Konosuke Takeshita is said to be receiving a huge push that will establish him as an upper mid-card talent. This could be happening as soon as a few weeks. And as you can see, things have heated up. And at Wrestle Dream, we could have ourselves another match of the year candidate between Konosuke Takeshita, Will Ospreay, and Ricochet. It is going to be one hell of a fight, to say the least. And it will be for the AEW International Championship. And based on everything that's gone on, it is indeed time to do the right thing. And it is indeed time to give Takeshita the AEW International Championship. It has been far too long. Konosuke Takeshita is now set, according to Fightful, to receive a major push. We just got a triple threat match booked for WrestleDream. It is Ospreay, Ricochet, and Takeshita. I am not going to sugarcoat anything. Konosuke Takeshita, he has been extremely underutilized. He has been far too good for far too long, and they dropped the ball with him last year after that big win against Kenny Omega back at All Out 2023. It is time that we put Takeshita in the right position. At WrestleDream, Konosuke Takeshita should absolutely win the International Championship. It's time to stop beating around the bush. He has been there for over 2 years now, going on 2.5 years, and he has done more than enough to prove that he is, without a shadow of a doubt, a man that they should be investing in the long term. Come WrestleDream, Konosuke Takeshita should be the new international champion. And I'm sure that a lot of people would be saying the same thing. Konosuke Takeshita, he has been one of their hardest workers. And right now, Will Ospreay, he doesn't need the championship. Neither does Ricochet. If anything, Will Ospreay and Ricochet, they can continue their feud on their own without a championship. And then maybe we could build towards another match at Full Gear in the Prudential Center. Can't wait for that, by the way. Can't wait for that. Moving on here. According to WrestleVotes, there has been some interest within the WWE of doing an LA Knight versus Randy Orton feud at some point in the near future. Now, LA Knight and Randy Orton, we have not seen that. And that is something that I would appreciate because we do need some fresh matches on WWE TV. We've seen way too many rematches on WWE TV for far too long, and it's about time that we get some new, fresh feuds, especially on SmackDown. SmackDown, I feel like 75% of the show is nothing more than rematch city, especially with the matches that we've been getting with Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. So we'll have to see what happens there. However, the one question that I have here is, what are you going to do with Cody Rhodes? Because logically, the next step after Cody is done with the bloodline is a feud with Randy Orton, unless they're saving that for WrestleMania. If they're saving that for WrestleMania, then I understand. And based on what we've been seeing, it does indeed seem like Kevin Owens is going to turn heel, and he is going to be in line for another match with Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, I can get behind that. I think that that's very, very good. But at the same point in time, you're really going to use Kevin Owens for another enhancement match to put Cody Rhodes over? That just seems a little counterproductive. I know that Kevin Owens is essentially a made man, and he's done everything there is to do in the WWE, minus, of course, win a Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank. But at the same point in time, I mean, how much more can you just constantly feed Kevin Owens to all the other top stars? Unless Kevin Owens doesn't plan on re-signing with the WWE. We don't know. We don't know what's going on whatsoever. But an LA Knight Randy Orton feud, that would be intriguing to a certain extent, and that would get LA Knight more over. So that I can appreciate. But at the same point in time, what exactly is going to happen with Cody? And on top of that, if LA Knight ends up winning the feud and he remains the United States champion, what exactly is going to happen with Randy Orton afterwards? Because even though wins and losses don't really matter in the WWE, even though they should, Randy Orton loses to LA Knight. How exactly is anyone going to take him seriously against Cody Rhodes? We're just automatically going to think that Cody's going to win, or we're going to be rooting for Randy Orton to win because we're sick of Cody. And trust me, that is starting. I'm not sick of Cody because I know how good Cody is, but it all depends on how he's booked. And he's been in a feud with the Bloodline all fucking year with absolutely no end in sight whatsoever. Now we're going to have to look forward to a Cody Rhodes and Rock match? No. As LA Knight would say, nah. If we're going to do that, it needs to be at the Rumble, not at WrestleMania. WrestleMania, it's either Cody and Orton or Cody and Punk. That is the proper WrestleMania match for the undisputed WWE title. Adam Cole. According to Fightful, the word backstage in AEW is that they are hoping to have Adam Cole back in the ring very, very soon. Nothing is confirmed, but Adam Cole is slated to return to the ring sooner rather than later. What are they going to have him do? I don't know. The logical step would be to have him go up against MJF. However, if Adam Cole is able to make a return, maybe, just maybe, we could get a match out of Bryan Danielson. Or maybe Kenny Omega could come back. Maybe we see Kenny Omega versus Adam Cole. That could be a big match that they would build towards going into Grand Slam. It all depends on how long MJF is out, because if I was building this, then it would be Adam Cole versus MJF, and that storyline will be wrapped up. But listen, whenever Adam Cole comes back, the better, because Adam Cole is phenomenal at what he does. Braun Strowman. I do want to send out some thoughts and prayers to Braun Strowman, because Braun Strowman suffered, according to Wrestling Observer Live, he suffered a torn groin during his match with Bronson Reed this week on Raw. It was probably one of the best Braun Strowman matches that we've seen, probably the best Braun Strowman match that we've seen since he made his return to the WWE 2 years ago. It was a very, very, very fun match that he ended up winning thanks to Seth Rollins. And it seems as though Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, that is going to be the program going forward. And maybe that could end up sending Bronson Reed over to Friday Night SmackDown, so that way he could take the U.S. title off of LA Knight. Unless they're going to have Bronson Reed go up against Jey Uso, and Bronson Reed's going to be the new Intercontinental Champion. If anything, you could have just did that with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Doesn't matter that they're two heels, because those two powerhouses right there, that would have been a phenomenal match that a lot of people would be invested in. And Braun Breaker losing to Bronson Reed, I mean, there's no shame in that. At least after Braun Breaker got a solid run as the Intercontinental Champion. Now, that's not going to happen because Braun Breaker's going after Gunther, and Jey Uso's the Intercontinental Champion. Terrible fucking move, by the way. But Braun Strowman, thoughts and prayers to him. Hopefully, he comes back healthier than ever, because Braun Strowman, he is actually very good when he's given the opportunity to do so. He has worked to get better. He is in good shape. So I hope that Braun Strowman, he recovers quite nicely from the torn groin. Fightful. Back to Fightful. Fightful has been in the news a lot. They were just coming out with report after report after report after report. Fightful reported that Killswitch, a.k.a. Luchasaurus, was hospitalized this past weekend with pneumonia in both of his lungs. He was found collapsed and was rushed to the hospital. He is recovering, and he is currently on an oxygen tank. His in-ring return is unclear at this moment. Same thing as I said with Braun Strowman. I greatly appreciate Luchasaurus, and I greatly appreciate his improvement as well as Braun Strowman's improvement. And no one wants to see these guys in a state where they can't do what they love or they can't provide for themselves or their families. So I send my thoughts and prayers out to Luchasaurus. I hope that he comes back happier and healthier than ever. Pneumonia ain't nothing to fuck with. Pneumonia ain't nothing to fuck with. My sister had pneumonia back in the day. She was just a kid. She was just a kid back in the day. So I wasn't old enough to know how serious that was. But now that I'm a lot older, I'm a lot wiser. I know how serious pneumonia can be. So my thoughts and prayers go out to Luchasaurus and his family and his friends. Greatly appreciate everything that Luchasaurus does for AEW, and I hope to see him back very, very soon. Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley. He is officially signed with AEW, and after Shelton Benjamin showed up on AEW TV this past Wednesday, Lashley is set to join him and MVP on TV very, very soon. Now, what is going on with Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP? I am not sure. Some people are saying that Swerve Strickland should join up with MVP and the newly forming Hurt Syndicate. I don't see that as a good idea at all. Matter of fact, that is a rather bad idea because Swerve and Nana right now, they are the money pair. Swerve and Nana, if they separate this early, that is going to be a major, major blow because you just took out one of their top-tier baby faces. Some people see Swerve as a tweener. Listen, he could play both sides of the coin. But right now, if Swerve is going to be on TV involved with MVP and Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Syndicate, Swerve needs to be a babyface. Swerve needs to be a babyface. It is the best possible option for him going forward. It makes no sense for Swerve to be a heel right now because where does that leave Nana? Nana will essentially be out of a job if Swerve Strickland goes and joins up with MVP. So what do we do? Well, based on everything, the choice is pretty clear. And I'm surprised no one has pitched this. I'm the only one that has decided to talk about this so far. Bobby Lashley is signed with AEW. He is set to join Shelton Benjamin and MVP on TV imminently. When Powerhouse Hobbs is ready, and I do believe he should be ready sooner rather than later, he could be ready as soon as next month. If Hobbs is ready to come back, put Hobbs with MVP. And then Swerve is going to have to assemble a faction of his own. So you got the two managers, MVP and Nana. You got Hobbs, Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin, the Hurt Syndicate on MVP's side. What does Swerve do? Swerve, in his best interests, would recruit Private Party. Private Party standing alongside Swerve Strickland and them being the underdogs going up against the newly formed Hurt Syndicate, that would be a brilliant, brilliant interim program for Swerve while Hangman goes and wins the world title. And then after Revolution, we can start building up Swerve to go after Hangman and get his World Heavyweight Championship back. Daniel Garcia, a lot of people have been talking about Daniel Garcia. He has been in the news a lot as of lately. Seems as though started out with Daniel Garcia potentially re-signing with AEW and being in a position where he is going to be a mainstay star. He'll be in a feud with MJF and possibly built up to become a champion in the near future. Apparently, Daniel Garcia has still not re-signed. And according to Fightful, again, Fightful provided an update on Daniel Garcia. Reportedly, he has not been backstage at any recent AEW events. Apparently, AEW is still hopeful that Garcia will resign, and there are creative pitches in the event that he does. Daniel Garcia has not been backstage, and more than likely, he is currently reevaluating his position, deciding where he wants to go next. I don't want to make any assumptions here. I don't. I'm not here to make any assumptions. I'm not here to really cause any chaos or mayhem or try and say some shit that isn't true. But based on the surface value, I'm just looking at this from a surface value. It does seem like AEW may be losing Daniel Garcia. And that's pretty sad, to be quite honest. That is pretty sad. I don't want it to come to that, but it does seem like Daniel Garcia is not that confident that Tony Khan is going to fully invest in him like he knows Tony Khan can invest in him because he sees what is going on around him. Daniel Garcia, according to reports, has not been backstage at recent AEW events. I don't want to say anything that's not true, but it does seem like AEW might be letting Daniel Garcia slip through their fingers. And if that's the case, they're going to have nobody to blame but themselves. I have talked about Daniel Garcia extensively, and I've said that Daniel Garcia is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of their top-tier young stars that they should be investing in going forward. But after everything that's been going on and the obvious disorganization that is going on, the lack of structure, maybe Daniel Garcia doesn't have full confidence in Tony Khan that he is going to be treated properly. I mean, how long did it take Takeshita to finally be in a position where he's fighting for a major championship? I don't know what's going to happen. Only Daniel Garcia knows where he's going to go. But it does seem like on the surface that AEW is letting Daniel Garcia slip through their fingers. I will keep you guys updated. And I will let you know what I find out. As far as right now goes, Daniel Garcia is still under contract. When will he come back? I don't know. Fightful and Beyond the Bell podcast, they reported that with this new AEW media rights deal, which we will be talking about in just a little bit, with this new AEW media rights deal, Dynamite and Collision will be simulcasting on Max starting in January. Now, I have said that this is a brilliant idea. And all this does, and I don't really want to toot my own horn here because I feel like I do that enough, but it is very important for me to mention that I have been stating for quite a while now that the ratings don't matter. Ratings on TV don't matter. Everyone seems to be making a big fucking deal about all the ratings for Dynamite. No one seems to be making a big deal about the ratings for Raw, even though Raw experienced a record low rating literally just last week with a 1.3 million overall rating. But yet everybody wants to be up in arms about the AEW ratings. I have stated time and time again that the ratings don't matter. Do you know why? Because cable TV is dying. And people want to make up all these excuses. Oh, but they're not leaving in droves. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Raw, 5 years ago, was pulling in 2.5 million, and yet they could barely break a 1.3 million last week. Please, tell me again how cable TV is not dying. Why do you think that WWE Raw is moving to Netflix? It's not because of the money. It's not because of that $5 billion deal they're supposedly getting from Netflix. WWE is making more money than they know what to do with. WWE is making so much more money than you could ever even imagine. They don't need the $5 billion from Netflix. The reason why they're moving is because cable TV is dying. The reason why they're moving is because cable TV is going to go kaput within a couple of decades, and everything is going to be on a streaming service. I would be dead shocked if they move off of Netflix after this 5-year deal with Netflix and Monday Night Raw is done. Now that AEW's got the deal, Dynamite and Collision will be simulcasting on HBO Max, and that is going to be a reason for individuals to go and buy the HBO Max subscription, so that way they will be able to watch Dynamite just as much as the next guy. It's time for everyone to acknowledge the facts for what they are, start living in reality. And it's actually one of the main reasons why I don't listen to Bully Ray. Bully Ray is almost perfect at what he does. Bully Ray, I do have a newfound respect for Bully Ray. Bully Ray has gotten a lot better with his critiques. He's gotten a lot better with his wrestling analytics. Bully's actually very fair with both WWE and AEW. But the one thing that makes him sound like an idiot, even though I know he's not an idiot, the one thing that makes him sound like an idiot is the fact that he constantly goes on about how ratings matter. No, they don't. No, they don't. Bully, I don't know what you've been smoking, but I need you to come back down to reality. I need you to get your head out of the clouds. The ratings don't matter. Cable TV ratings have not mattered for years. Everything will be on a streaming service by 2050. Maybe even sooner than that. Dynamite and Collision, they're already following suit with Monday Night Raw. Pretty soon, NXT is going to be on a streaming service. Pretty soon, SmackDown is going to be on a streaming service. Pretty soon, Shockwave, the new FS1 show, that's going to be on a streaming service. Everything will be on a streaming service. Everything. It's time to acknowledge that reality. Moving on, I got a report from Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer, now, again, you need to take Dave Meltzer with a grain of salt. Not everything Meltzer says is correct. However, he did mention something about Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon, he stopped by and took a picture with the Young Bucks at an airport because they were coincidentally on the same flight. Yeah, sure. Apparently, Shane McMahon, he is not believed to be the mastermind behind Jon Moxley's new faction. Matter of fact, AEW backstage sources have stated that this is not the destination for Moxley's new crew. I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. Now, I know that a lot of people have a lot of apprehension about Shane McMahon joining up with AEW because we don't know his intentions. We don't know where his loyalties lie. We don't know if his ego is going to end up getting the better of him. We don't know if he really wants to help market the product and get more people to go to the shows and all this other bullshit. We don't know. We don't know what the deal is with Shane McMahon and if he truthfully wants to help the AEW product. We don't know. We don't know. But out of all of the options I have talked about, Jon Moxley and the way that he said to Tony Schiavone, this is not your company anymore. Jon Moxley being the guy to go out there and say that he is now working for Shane McMahon, and Shane McMahon leading that hostile takeover that we thought the Young Bucks were going to lead. That right there would generate a certain amount of interest that I don't think we've seen in AEW in a good while, probably since the Swerve and Hangman feud first started. This is a big missed opportunity if we're not going to see Shane McMahon a part of Jon Moxley's faction. And I have a couple questions. Two questions specifically. Number one, if Shane McMahon is not going to be a part of Jon Moxley's new faction, what are they going to have him do? What exactly are they going to have Shane McMahon do if it's not going to be run Jon Moxley's new posse? You're going to have him join up with the Young Bucks and the Elite? I'm sorry, but that just seems way too obvious. The Elite right now are pretty much a dead cause. We've already been down the road with the Elite. At this point, we're just all waiting to see who's going to take the championships off of the Elite. That's it. I hate to say that because, listen, Jack Perry, Kazuchika Okada, and the Young Bucks, they're all great at what they do. They've been putting on very good matches as champions. They've been doing a very solid job. But at the same point in time, how exactly is anyone going to sit here and say that, yeah, we are emotionally invested in the Elite right now? The Elite, they haven't clicked. It's not as bad as the Learning Tree and what Chris Jericho is doing, but they haven't clicked. The only time that the Elite right now are any good is when the bell rings. Outside of that, there's really nothing that the Elite have going for them now. And even Shane McMahon, I don't think Shane McMahon's even going to be able to save him. But Shane McMahon being a part of Jon Moxley's new faction, now that is going to be interesting because we haven't seen anything like that. We haven't seen Shane McMahon in a position like I would say we haven't seen him in a position where he's the orchestrator of violence. Whatever we saw 5 years ago with Drew McIntyre and whatever the fuck we had going on with Shane McMahon there, that was fucking terrible. That was fucking terrible in every sense of the word. We didn't need that shit. We didn't need that shit at all. But I'm hoping that if Shane McMahon is going to join AEW, he joins up with Jon Moxley because then Shane being the orchestrator of everything, not only can he help from a TV perspective, but he's also able to help from a backstage perspective. he could be a guy that a lot of people go to for advice, and he could help lead the marketing department, help gain more eyes on the product from a backstage perspective. He could help promote the shows a lot better. We'll have to wait and see. But Shane McMahon not being a part of Moxley's faction, that is a major, major missed opportunity. Shane McMahon, apparently he is set to join AEW. We don't know when, but according to Meltzer, take it with a grain of salt, Shane is not set to be revealed as the mastermind behind Jon Moxley's new faction. I don't know why, but that is a major mistake. That is a big mistake. If it's not going to be Shane McMahon as the orchestrator behind Moxley's new faction, then who's it going to be? Because Jon Moxley did hint at someone else, how this is bigger than him. And if Shane's not going to be that guy, what's Shane going to do? You're going to pair him up with the Young Bucks and the Elite? As much as I respect the Elite and the whole entire aura surrounding the Elite, it's gone. Everyone's just collectively waiting on when they're all going to lose their championships. So if Shane is not going to be a part of Moxley's new crew, that is going to be a huge missed opportunity, and a lot of money is going to be left on the table. And finally, big report. It was revealed that Warner Brothers Discovery and AEW have come to a new media rights deal. It has been made official, and the AEW media rights deal, it is set to be $185 million for the year. Some people thought it was just going to be $150 million, but this time, apparently, it is said to be more. And again, you have to take Meltzer with a grain of salt, but if this is true, this is going to be big for AEW. They are set to receive $61 million to $76 million in profit for the year 2025 if things are to remain on the track that they are remaining on right now. Now, this is a great thing. This is a great thing, and I'm very, very happy that they were able to do this. Now they are perhaps the most profitable business not named WWE in the professional wrestling industry. It is a great thing to see, and I'm very, very, very happy that we are living in an era where we have two profitable professional wrestling companies to go out there, and a lot of people will have the opportunity to work. However, the one thing that I have to ask is, what does this mean for the future, creatively at least? Because here's the thing, money's money. I said it once, I'll say it again, the money's always going to be there. And the fact that AEW just exists, that is a success story in its own right. They're not going anywhere. They secured the bag, they're here to stay. However, the question is, what is Tony Khan going to do in order to truthfully, and I mean truthfully, aid the product going forward? Financially, they're going to be fine. But from a structure standpoint, from a creative standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, I've talked about this extensively. I sound like a broken record every single time that I bring this up. Tony Khan needs to structure the shows better. He needs to put forth a better effort when it comes to marketing the shows. You can't just throw out tickets and expect tickets to move on their own. No, you should have people going out to the locations, hyping up the show, making shit affordable. And the more people that you tell, the more people are going to buy a ticket. That's how marketing works. It would be a huge missed opportunity if Tony Khan was to go out there and just constantly throw tickets around and say, that's how much tickets, whatever we sell, we sell. You can't do that. Can't do that at all. Because then the only means of good ticket sales that you're going to see is when you have a special Dynamite, like what we saw at Grand Slam, where you sold over 8,000 tickets, or when you have a pay-per-view. Doesn't seem right to me. Doesn't seem right whatsoever that you're going to go out there and you're just going to shrug off ticket sales as if they're nothing. Listen, ticket sales might not matter to the creative process and all that, but if you want to help your ticket sales, and I know that there's a lot of people backstage that want to help in that regard, you need to market. And I mean market. You can't just go along and say, it doesn't really matter. Yes, it matters. Marketing matters. Structure matters. You need to start planning in the long term. You can't give away all these big matches for free. You need to start planning long term and develop storylines and feuds at least 6 to 7 months in advance. Because if you don't, we're going to have a problem and things are not going to work out as well as they should. I know that AEW can be better, and I certainly know that Tony Khan deserves a hell of a lot more than just to sell 4,500 tickets for the Dynamite 5-year anniversary in Pittsburgh. Okay? The money is great, and the money's always going to be there. But from a structure and marketing standpoint, they do need help. And out of everything that the product needs help with, I genuinely hope that Shane McMahon is going to help from a structure and a marketing standpoint, and he could give the backstage area a better sense of organization. He could probably take some of the load off of Tony Khan's plate, and he'll be able to help overall. And maybe we'll see the structure and the marketing aspect of AEW get better over time. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for sticking around. We are over 50 minutes into the stream, and we are going to get set to go over Raw, Dynamite, SmackDown, and Rampage. We're going to go over all those shows in just a little bit. Thank you very much to the Final Hoss, Mick Chelsea, Michael Vasquez, and everyone who is currently watching right now. If you haven't already done so, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the super chats, hit the super stickers, hit the super thanks. Let's see if anyone can outdo Raging Girl Gamer's big donation. Raging Girl Gamer dropped the $50 bomb last week. Let's see if anyone else can drop the big bombs, okay? We want to make history here. We want to develop a big following so that way we can get as much donations and super chats and super stickers and super thanks as possible. So please, anyone who wants to donate, you can donate down below. Hit the super chats, super stickers, and super thanks. I'd like to shout out a couple more sponsorships. I would like to shout out Juicy Platters. Let's talk about food again. Juicy Platters. Juicy Platters is a great place, especially here in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, to get Mediterranean and Middle Eastern food. And I'm telling you, the food over there excites a lot more than just your taste buds. If you're looking to take a break from the Chinese and the Mexican and the Italian, go take a spin on over to Juicy Platters, and that way you'll be able to get some quality Mediterranean food. And if you still don't believe me, listen up, and I'll tell you why Juicy Platters is the place to be, so that way your soul will be sent on a journey. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about a very special place that I go to eat. You see, when I'm sick of the tired old pizza dishes and the played out Chinese food dishes, I go and take a spin on over to Juicy Platters. And you see, Juicy Platters is an exciting, fast-growing brand focused on great people, great food, and of course, great culture. Since 2011, they've been serving up Mediterranean-inspired offerings made with halal ingredients. And their mission is to spread love through stellar guest experiences and delicious food. From rice, to chicken, to veggies, they layer fresh flavors with colorful spices and sauces made from the Mediterranean and the Middle East to create vibrant and unforgettable dishes. Here, they believe that the food should excite all of your senses. So come on in, see my friend John Diaz and all of the great team members right here at their Fair Lawn, New Jersey location. Juicy Platters. This is the food that your soul craves. And trust me, your soul will indeed thank you for getting you some material over at Juicy Platters. And I'm telling you, you are going to want to get that and so much more. You're going to want to tell your friends about it. Thank you very much to John Diaz and the entire team over at Juicy Platters for being an official sponsor for Battle in the Borough and, of course, the DJ Storms brand. Now then, I know a lot of you are eating a lot of food out there, but when it comes to eating food, you got to make sure your chompers are in good shape. You got to have some good dental health. That is why there is a great place right here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, just a short walk away from my house. It's called Elmwood Dental Professionals, led by Dr. David Eidman and Dr. Daniel Eidman. They offer great dental services, and the visits are as comfortable as they can be. They make sure that you get the best quality dental services at reasonable prices, and that way you can walk around stress-free knowing that your chompers are in good shape to munch on any food that you might think about having. You still don't believe me? Listen up. I'll tell you a little bit more about Elmwood Dental Professionals and why they are the premier dental practice here in Bergen County. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys are looking for some quality dental care, have I got the place for you. For almost 40 years, Elmwood Dental Professionals has been one of the top-tier premier dental practices in Bergen County. Dr. David Eidman, Dr. Daniel Eidman, and their entire team have employed a standard of excellence in personalized dental care, which combines uncompromising safety with extensive training and expertise. This enables them to provide the quality dental services that their patients deserve. As a practice, they are true believers that preventative care and education are the keys to optimal dental health. Their entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized dental care that you deserve to make your visits as comfortable and pleasant as possible. Elmwood Dental Professionals, creating beautiful smiles, then, now, and forever. They have indeed been creating beautiful smiles then, now, and forever. Thank you very much to Dr. David Eidman, Dr. Daniel Eidman, and all the team members at Elmwood Dental Professionals for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and, of course, the DJ Storms brand. I'd also like to talk about laundry for a little bit. As you know, especially with this economy, thanks a lot, Biden, this economy is fucked. This economy is fucked. Trump 2024. Get the economy back in shape, just so that way I can piss off some liberals right here. The economy's fucked, and owning a washer and a dryer can be very, very costly. But over at My Laundry Room, right here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, they are able to offer you very high-quality laundry services at a very reasonable price, so that way you don't have to go hog wild spending hundreds of dollars on washers and dryers. And if you don't believe me, well, all you need to do is sit down, relax, and listen to this word from your boy, and I'll tell you a little bit about My Laundry Room. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys require some professional laundry services, you guys should come on down to My Laundry Room. And I'm here to tell you why. First of all, they got a great reputation of over 30 years here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, which gives them first-class name brand recognition. Secondly, they got high-quality VIP wash and fold service, which entails that you get top-notch cleaning at a very reasonable price. And, of course, you get the assurance that your order will be ready when promised. And finally, and most importantly, you get the customer satisfaction knowing that My Laundry Room is a clean and comfortable environment, has great staff, and above all else, is a place where the customer always comes first. So come on down, see Kelly, Danielle, Chris, and all the great team members over here. My Laundry Room, where your dirty laundry is their business. And your dirty laundry is indeed their business over at My Laundry Room. Thank you very much to Kelly, Danielle, Chris, and all the team members over at My Laundry Room for being an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. We greatly appreciate you, and we hope to see you all at Battle in the Borough. Of course, when I talk about food one more time, we talked about a lot of great Mediterranean food, Italian food. We talked about plenty of other food. I'm telling you, food's a big, big deal over here. But if you're done with lunch and you're done with dinner, You got to go for some dessert. You want a good place for some dessert? Well, I got a place for you. It's called the Ruggles Shop. The Ruggles Shop over on Route 46 in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, run by my main man, Kevin, over there. He's been there for 9 months looking to grow his following. And if you guys are looking for some quality cookies, ruggles, and fruit smoothies as well, you should go and check out the Ruggles Shop. Here's a word from your boy, DJ Shizzle Dizzle, about why the Ruggles Shop is indeed the place for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I'm coming here with one of the best kept secrets in Bergen County, the Ruggles Shop. For the last 10 months, this place has been serving up some quality baked goods, including chocolate chip cookies, pecan sandies, and of course, homemade ruggles. And if you come on in right now, my main man Kevin over here, he will make you a quality smoothie that is not only healthy, but it is also delicious. Take my word for it, people. The Ruggles Shop, you are going to want to check this place out. Oh, and you are indeed going to want to check that place out because the Ruggles Shop is absolutely awesome in every sense of the word. Thank you very much to Kevin and the Ruggles Shop for being an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. And of course, Battle in the Borough. Hope to see you at Battle in the Borough as well, Mr. Kevin. Anyway, let us get into the weekly show reviews. Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw. No one's going to say it, so I will. Monday Night Raw, not all that good. Not all that exciting. It wasn't a complete waste of time. We did have 2 decent promos on the show, and we did have a decent main event. Very good main event, actually. But other than that, I mean, most of the show was very, very blah. Very, very mid. Nothing overly exciting. I really do hope. I genuinely hope that Triple H is keeping an eye on this. We actually got a banger of a show going down next week. Next week, they loaded up next week's show, which, by the way, it is the first 2-hour Raw in a long, long time. First 2-hour Raw in a long, long time going down next week. So I really do hope that this was the last lackluster Raw for the time being. September wasn't all that good of a month for Monday Night Raw, and this was no different. Very, very mid-show. Don't really know what happened here, but it was not as good as it could have been. Jey Uso made his first entrance with the Intercontinental Championship. Jey Uso soaked in all of the admiration. The crowd was chanting, "You deserve it." No, he doesn't. He said he was going to fight anyone who wants to take this title. He says that he talked about how it was a hard road to get here and how he was always looked at as just a twin, but now they know my name. My biggest fan throughout all of this is my mother. And I spoke to my mom and she said, go out there and show them who you are. Go out there and get it. And I said, I got you. And mama, we did it. All of a sudden, out comes Braun Breaker. He is not coming out with the usual hyped up vibe that he usually comes out. He's coming out very, very calm, very, very mellow, very somber. And he says that, I'll tell you what, last week, you gained a lot of my respect. And on that night, you were the better man. I'm not out here to spear you, but it should be me that is the first one out here to congratulate you. You deserve it. So he extended the hand. Jey took it. Jey said, hey, Braun, we got some dogs in Indiana tonight, Oos. And Braun Breaker left with a smile. He left with no issue. Babyface turn seems to be coming. I talked about this last week. It is a mistake. Braun Breaker turning babyface is a mistake. They left a lot of money on the table with him as the Intercontinental Champion, and they left a lot of money on the table with him as a heel. There was so much to be had with him as a heel, and the only reason why Braun Breaker has turned babyface is exactly the same reason that I stated last week. And on this show, we pretty much saw WWE admit that I was right. They turned Braun Breaker into a babyface because they have no challengers for Gunther. It's what happens. It's what happens when you don't build up people from an extended period, X amount of months in advance. When you only focus on your main guys and you build up nobody else, this is what happens. Lo and behold. Xavier Woods and Rey Mysterio. Match was mid. Very, very mid. The match was very lackluster, very disappointing. I don't know what happened here, but how you have these two on the show and these two barely get 8 minutes, 3 minutes was in a commercial, and the match doesn't even break out of the first gear. Match doesn't even break out of the first gear. The only good part about this match was the ending, which was great, by the way. Xavier Woods inadvertently ripped the mask off of Rey Mysterio and rolled up Rey Mysterio for the win. So Xavier Woods, he kind of acted like, I didn't really want to do that, but hey, the opportunity presented itself. I'm going to roll up Rey Mysterio to get the win. So that was great. The ending was awesome. And the fact that Xavier Woods, he is on the verge of turning heel, this only makes things better. Xavier Woods needs a heel turn. And Xavier Woods as a heel, going down to NXT perhaps, and fighting for the NXT Championship, I'm telling you, a heel Xavier Woods, that would really spark some interest. It's time that the New Day break up. Lyra Valkyria. She took on Zoe Stark. Who cares? Who gives a shit? How many weeks now? I would love for someone to keep track. I'd love for someone to keep track because I haven't been keeping track because I don't really give a shit. If I would have kept track, I swear to God, if I was to be given $1 for every time, I swear to God, we have seen so many variations of Lyra Valkyria and friends versus the Pure Fusion Collective. What is the end game here? I'd love to know what the end game is here. See, this is why no one takes anyone in the women's division seriously outside of Rhea, Liv, Tiffany Stratton, Bayley, Nia Jax. This is why the division across both brands is a division of 5 credible women, and everyone else is looked upon as a scrub. If anything, Lyra should have won the Queen of the Ring tournament. Lyra Valkyria should have won the Queen of the Ring tournament. The fact that she didn't, that's a fucking problem. I'm sorry. That is a complete fucking botch if I've ever seen one. That was a creative botch to the max. And now where is she? She's doing nothing. She's been fighting Sonya, Baszler, Zoe Stark. It's a ring around the rosy of how many times we can see Lyra and friends versus the Pure Fusion Collective. Oh, by the way, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are back. They returned at the end of the match. Zoe Stark won. Pure Fusion Collective attacked Lyra Valkyria, and then in came Katana and Kaden. And we ended up seeing a double keg stand, and the 2 baby faces that returned stood tall over Pure Fusion Collective. I don't care. And that's very, very hard for me to say because I personally love Katana Chance. I love Casey. She's adorable. I've known her sister for a little bit now. I love the Catanzaros. But holy shit, this is not how I am going to sit here and get invested in what they're doing. I can't be invested in this shit. It's a waste of time. Honest to God, it's a waste of time. If you want the women's division to actually flourish, you need to build singles undercard storylines, and you need to give those women the amount of time to showcase just how good they are. Look at what we got on SmackDown. Look at what we got on SmackDown between Michin and Chelsea Green. That is what we need in the women's division. That's women's wrestling. We're going to talk about that when we get to the SmackDown portion of the review. But that is how you build credibility in the women's division. That's how you do it. Hell in a Cell. The Hell in a Cell enclosed the ring, and Adam Pearce and security, they were in the ring, and we had Adam Pearce and security moderate the face-to-face confrontation, the final face-to-face confrontation with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. So Punk came out first, Punk came out first, and out came McIntyre. Punk was dressed in his normal gear getup, the best in the world shirt with some sweatpants. Drew McIntyre came out wearing a black suit. He says, "I am in black out of respect for your wife, and after this Sunday, she's going to have to feed you. Maybe she'll even leave you. They'll be celebrating when you're no longer here and you're gone forever, and it'll be all thanks to Drew McIntyre. You people can still chant his name, but Roxanne Perez used to worship the ground that this man walked on. Now she realized what kind of person he truly is. And I can really, really, really see the hatred bearing right through your eyes. You hate me and I hate you. You taught me how to hate. But if you use hate correctly, it could be a weapon. And at Bad Blood, all that hate will die with you." So Drew went to leave. Punk said, "You know, the people have called me a lot of things. Tonight, I am voiceless. I have nothing to say, but I'm filled with so much rage. I have been living in a hotel for 4 weeks. You've turned me into the fictitious boogeyman that my critics claim I am." Phil, listen, I understand that you're a fucking egomaniac, and I understand you got to take shots, but Phil, you're a fucking asshole. It's really, really, you want to know what's the most frustrating thing about CM Punk? The man is an asshole, and he just won't admit to it. The man is a fucking asshole. The man's an ass clown. The man is an egomaniac to the highest extent. And I cannot wait till he turns heel, because then we're going to see the real CM Punk. CM Punk is best suited as a heel. He's not a babyface anymore. CM Punk will never be a babyface fully. The only reason why he is being cheered so greatly is for 2 reasons. Number one, because the WWE fans are a bunch of simple-minded fucktards. And number 2 is because Drew McIntyre has them on strings like puppets. Every single time Drew comes out, the fans are trained to chant CM Punk, CM Punk. Regardless, CM Punk said that I have turned into the fictitious boogeyman that my critics claim I am, and I will send you home in a box. You said you prayed for this, and it happened. When you're locked in the cell with me, you will look up. I will wipe the blood from your eyes, and you will be praying to CM Punk. I will see you in hell. It was solid. Probably one of the only good things about the show. It was solid for what it was. I will say that. However, same thing that I've been saying. We're just all looking forward to the match. Everything that was said here, minus the fact that, hey, I've been living in a hotel for 4 weeks. Outside of that, I mean, everything that's been said, we've heard it before. We're at that point in time, and everything is just at a fever pitch to a point where there's nothing more to be said. So this was a good segment. But at the same point in time, everything that has been stated here, it's already been said. They're just repeating themselves, and we're all just looking forward to the match. It's time to end this, and it's time to move on. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to see Drew McIntyre and CM Punk reignite the feud later on. Possibility that we could. We'll have to wait and see. The LWO and the Judgment Day. Another rematch. Rematch City. Judgment Day take the win thanks to Finn Balor. Who cares? Finn Balor was in the ring. He told Damian Priest that he didn't have a heart. And at Bad Blood, he's going to prove that the Judgment Day never needed Damian Priest. Rhea Ripley interrupted. Ripley said she knows all of Dirty Dom's secrets, like that he's extremely claustrophobic. He says that you'll have the best seat in the house to see your little girlfriend realize that she isn't as good as me. Priest then came out and we got a big brawl. The shark cage was brought in. Dom was actually locked in the shark cage before Liv Morgan came in. And Liv Morgan ended up brawling with Rhea Ripley to the back. In the ring, the numbers game caught up to Damian Priest. And Damian Priest was on the receiving end of 3 coup de grace. So all that leading up to what we're seeing tonight at Bad Blood. Again, wasn't necessarily a bad beatdown, but again, we've seen it like 3 or 4 times now within the course of the last 8 weeks. It's old. It's played out. Let's move on. Now, obviously, this feud's going to continue. It's not just going to end with Damian Priest beating Finn Balor once, or Finn beating Priest once. Finn's going to win tonight. Finn is going to be the guy to win, but ultimately, this is not going to be the end. But either way, we're going to have to get to that next level. We need a stipulation match at some point in time in the near future. Chad Gable versus Kofi Kingston. This was not a bad match. There was a little miscommunication here and there, but ultimately this was not terrible overall. In the end, it was Gable that ended up winning with the Chaos Theory because Xavier Woods, he meant to trip up Chad Gable, and he did, but Kofi, I don't know why I said Cody. Kofi couldn't hit the Trouble in Paradise, and Woods inadvertently cost Kofi Kingston the match. So it seems as though more and more tension is building between the New Day, and that is something that I can get behind. Gunther, he came out and he was going to address the crowd. And during the entrance, this actually sucks. During the entrance, they stated on commentary that Ilya Dragunov suffered a torn ACL, which absolutely sucks. Talk about being in a shit position. Wrong place, wrong time for Ilya Dragunov. That is a big blow. That is a big blow to the mid-card. That is a big blow to the main event scene as well. It looks like we could be waiting until the summer of next year to be looking at Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther for the world title. And that is very, very depressing. I feel bad for Ilya Dragunov. So, Gunther, he was talking about life being fantastic. But he hates all of the insults that he's had to deal with from Sami Zayn every week. So out comes Sami Zayn. Sami talked about if Gunther found him annoying, there's an easy way to end this. Give me what I keep asking for, but you won't do it. And I know why. Why don't you tell these people the truth? Admit it. Gunther, you are scared. Gunther said, I tried to beat it into you. You're not on my level. Sami then said, then why did I beat you at WrestleMania? I pinned you, and you know that if it was me versus you, you are scared that it will happen again. So the crowd chanted, you're a coward, you're a coward. Gunther said, you're right. I am afraid, but not of you. I am afraid for my reputation. Losing to the better man would be no problem, but losing to you was the biggest embarrassment of my career. Once it was all done, I had to look my father in the eye, and he said, I flew all the way from Europe to see you lose against that bum, Sami Zayn. Your family is used to seeing you fail, but my family expects everything from me. I am Gunther. I am special. I am something that you will never be. The world heavyweight champion. Sammy then said, really? Then how come you didn't come and see me for a rematch? It's because you crumbled. I always get back up, but you ran off and hid. You couldn't show your face here for months, all because your dad made you feel like a loser. And now you're showing him that his son is also a coward. Gunther then attacked Sammy. Sammy tried to fight back. Sammy ultimately was given a powerbomb. Gunther took the mic and he said, you want this so bad, you got your match. And that was that. That was that. So it seems as though we got ourselves a match going into next week on Raw, which I do not like at all. Why is Gunther and Sammy on Monday Night Raw? That is a huge, 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 huge miss. The fact that we have no world title matches, none whatsoever, no world title matches whatsoever going into Bad Blood, that's a problem. I'm sorry. That is a major, major, major problem. But next week we got ourselves a big show. We got a big show. We got ourselves Jey Uso defending the Intercontinental Championship against Xavier Woods. We got Sheamus and Pete Dunne in a Donnybrook match. And then we got Gunther and Sami Zayn for the World Heavyweight Championship. We also had the Authors of Pain. They took on Awesome Truth, and The Miz, he ended up turning on R-Truth. Thank Christ, Awesome Truth is done. They should have never reunited to begin with. Should have never reunited to begin with. Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, last monster standing match. This was fucking nuts. Right out of the gate, the chaos started with Bronson Reed being chokeslammed through the announce table. Bronson Reed got back up. Reed was sent into a bed of chairs on the floor. Reed took the chair. Strowman took it. Reed was hit with the chair over and over. Reed then with a Death Valley driver off of the production crates through the tables, back to ringside. Reed speared Bronson through one barricade in the timekeeper's area, and then he speared Braun Strowman through the barricade around ringside in the first row, and they actually had to start helping the fans. It was absolutely nuts. So Chad Patton was trying to help security. Bronson Reed was pissed because Chad Patton wasn't counting Braun Strowman out. Reed then grabbed Adam Pearce. Security surrounded him. Braun Strowman with a flying crossbody off the top onto the pile. Both men beat the count. Braun Strowman went up. Bronson Reed threw a chair at him. We had a superplex, and the ring ended up snapping. I had a feeling that they were going to do this. So the ring ended up completely snapping. Ref actually fell out of the ring. The ring broke. All of a sudden, Bronson Reed was climbing up, and out of nowhere, Seth Rollins comes in and delivers a stomp on the bottom half of the steel steps. Stomp on the bottom half of the steel steps, and ultimately, we see Braun Strowman make it back to his feet. And that was the end. That was the end. And ultimately, Braun Strowman is the last monster standing. Great main event. One of the only good things about the show. Now, originally, I would be shitting on this because Bronson Reed, he lost, but he was protected in defeat. And now he is going to be embroiled in a feud with Seth Rollins, which is absolutely going to take him to the next level. Very much looking forward to seeing what he does going up against Seth Rollins. It is going to be extremely, extremely, extremely entertaining, to say the least. Good stuff. Very, very, very good stuff. Dynamite. Let's move on to Dynamite here. Dynamite, 5-year anniversary show. This was actually a decent show. Not necessarily the best, but it was a decent show for what it was. A lot of good wrestling on the show. We did get some build towards Wrestle Dream. The only issue here, and this is why I'm very, very happy that Grand Slam is being moved to February and it's its own separate pay-per-view. The big issue here is the fact that Grand Slam, when it's in Arthur Ashe Stadium, Grand Slam causes problems when it comes to the overall build between the pay-per-views. Wrestle Dream is essentially being put together within 2 weeks. And that's not right. That's not right at all. We should not be in a position where Wrestle Dream is being thrown together in 2 fucking weeks. It's so fucking stupid, I swear. So goddamn stupid. But the anniversary show kicked off with a little promo in the beginning. Jon Moxley's faction cut a promo. Jon Moxley, he told Yuta to pick a side. Claudio called this group his home and that they have big plans for him. I'm going to have that belt, said Moxley, and there will be casualties. You'll get a gift, Brian. You'll die a warrior's death on your home soil, peacefully and beautifully, and I will officially relieve you of duty. I am sending Daddy home for good. Excellent. Excellent, 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 excellent. Do I think he's going to win? No, I don't think he's going to win. Matter of fact, Moxley winning, that would actually screw up the plans because the best possible outcome here is to have Hangman as the one to take the championship off of Bryan at World's End. And Hangman is the guy that goes on to hold that title going into next year. That's the way to do it. So, moving on here. We had Ricochet and Will Ospreay, AEW International Championship. Crowd was chanting, "Holy shit," before the match even began. Very nice back and forth. Ricochet with a tope suicida, Hurricane Rana off the barricade, Neuralizer by Ospreay, springboard elbow for a 2. Big lariat by Ricochet for a 2, Spanish fly by Ospreay. Oz Cutter on the apron. Coming back from commercial, Ricochet with a Hurricane Rana, Ospreay landed on his feet. Oz Cutter by Ricochet for a 2. Ricochet went up. 450 missed. Backslide driver and a pile driver for a 2 count. Crowd chanted, "Fight forever." Ospreay with a stun dog millionaire. Styles clash. Ricochet kicked out. Oz Cutter. Ricochet kicked out. Ricochet with a hidden blade and a shooting star press. Ospreay kicked out. We had a Poison Rana by Ospreay. Poison Rana by Ricochet. Hidden blade. Both men's shoulders were down. And it ended in a draw because both men's shoulders were pinned to the mat. Tony Khan then said that the match is going to continue, but out of nowhere, during the continuation of the match, Konosuke Takeshita comes on in, and Konosuke Takeshita ends up causing the DQ, and he lays out both men. Now, I didn't know how they were going to end this. I'm not sure what exactly they were going to do or how exactly things were going to work out, but I would say that this was probably the best way to end things so that way we can keep the program going, number one. And number two, this inserts Konosuke Takeshita into the mix, and now Takeshita is in a position where he could end up walking out of here with the championship. And Konosuke Takeshita walking out of there with the championship, that is something that I can get behind. That is something that I support 1,000%. And I am not going to sit here and complain about that whatsoever. I am absolutely all for Konosuke Takeshita getting the international championship, and that's how things should end. That is exactly how things should end as we go into the month of October. Wrestle Dream will be the crowning achievement for Konosuke Takeshita. Mercedes Moné, she was backstage. MVP jumped into the mix, and MVP had a little backstage segment where he gave Monet his card. So it looks like MVP is developing a new Hurt Syndicate. And that is something that I can get behind. Monet with MVP. That seems interesting. We had TV time with the Learning Tree. I am the Learning Tree. Hi, guys. So Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith were all in the ring. Chris Jericho said that this is the 5-year anniversary of Dynamite. Hi, guys. And this is also his 34th year in professional wrestling. And I am focused on nurturing the branches of the Learning Tree and getting as much TV time as I can. So, obviously, I didn't know where this was going, but Chris Jericho said, I had an epiphany. It's time for a new era of Jericho. The Ocho is gone, and it is time for the Nueve. Mark Briscoe, I am challenging you to a Ring of Honor World Title match at WrestleDream. Do you accept? So out comes Mark Briscoe, and it was just Briscoe and Jericho in the ring. Briscoe said that he is not about making excuses, but the only way that you won last week is because Big Bill chokeslammed me through a table. But guess what? It was as legal as a wrist lock. I'm going to call you what you are. Logically speaking, you should get a title shot. And I'd love to put that notch on my belt. Chris Jericho then interrupted him, and he said, you want to beat Chris Jericho? I don't think you can beat me. Maybe your brother Jay could have. So now things started to get a little interesting. Jericho said, however, everybody knows that she'll never be as good as Jay was. Briscoe then with a punch right to the face. Briscoe told Jericho that he accepts and said that that is consequential. Listen, I've said it once, I'll say it again. We need to get Jericho off of TV. The Learning Tree is not clicking. However, I'm honest. I don't sugarcoat things. Whether or not people like it or they don't like it, I always tell the truth. This segment was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Matter of fact, the little jab about Jay Briscoe, that was actually a nice, solid little line. And hey, listen, if Jericho's going to put over Mark Briscoe, that could be a decent match. Jericho, from an in-ring perspective, he can still deliver. Let's not make shit up on the spot here. Listen, you can hate Jericho's character all you want. And listen, Jericho's character right now, it's not clicking. I've said it numerous amounts of times. He needs a switch up. Things just aren't working, and things aren't as good as they should be. He needs a break. Jericho needs a break from TV because things are not working out. But when push comes to shove, Jericho can still wrestle. He put on a very good match with Orange Cassidy a couple weeks ago on Dynamite. And listen, he could do the same thing here. So let's see what we have in store. And if things work out correctly, then you know what? Mark Briscoe, he beats Chris Jericho. That's a notch on Mark Briscoe's belt. And as long as Mark Briscoe is on TV getting some time, that right there is a good thing. It's a good thing that Mark Briscoe is in a position where he is getting TV time and Mark Briscoe is getting the showcase that he deserves, that he's earned. So the segment wasn't bad, but I'm going to tell you the same thing. Jericho, just have him put over Mark Briscoe and take a break. Jericho needs a break. I don't care how you look at it. He needs a break. Darby Allin. He threw out an open challenge to anyone at WrestleDream. I don't know who's going to accept. There are a couple of options. Some people are saying that it could very well be Bobby Lashley. Maybe it's Bobby. You already know that Darby Allin, he is an associate of Swerve Strickland, or they grew up together. They came up in the independent scene together. Maybe Darby Allin is recruited to be Swerve's little partner. Maybe Swerve tries to mend some relationship with Darby Allin, and maybe they go after the Hurt Syndicate. Could be interesting. We'll have to wait and see, but Darby's throwing out an open challenge. Some people are saying it could be Shane McMahon. I don't think so. The best option for Shane McMahon would still be to be the mastermind behind Moxley's new faction. Moving on here. Hangman, Adam Page, and Juice Robinson. We had a good match here. Page ended up taking the win, and Page puts down another man in his way, and he should be the world champion sooner rather than later. Afterwards, Hangman went to hang Juice Robinson by his belt. All of a sudden, Jay White comes out. Jay White goes right after Hangman Adam Page, and he spears Page through a table in the crowd, and it seems as though we got ourselves a match for Wrestle Dream. It's going to be Jay White and Hangman Adam Page 1-on-1. Now, that is something that I can get behind. And you know something? It makes sense. It makes sense. Who was the last guy to take out Jay White? It was Hangman Page. Hangman was the guy that injured Jay White and took him out for 3 months. He beat Jay White on his way to going to the finals of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Now we're in a position where Jay White is ultimately going to go after Hangman and seek revenge on him. And this is a nice little bridge feud for Hangman before he inevitably gets to Bryan Danielson. Hangman can fight with Jay White for a couple months, and then towards the end of December, he can go and fight Bryan at World's End and win the World Championship. That's how things should play out. That's how things need to play out. Jack Perry. He was confronted by Katsuyori Shibata. Shibata then challenged Perry at AEW Wrestle Dream for the TNT title, and Jack Perry accepted. Listen, I love both of these guys, but the only reason why Shibata is challenging is because Shibata, he is an individual that is going to pay tribute to Antonio Inoki. Plain and simple. It's nothing more than an Antonio Inoki tribute match. Britt Baker and Serena Deeb. This was Britt Baker's homecoming here. And this was not a bad match at all. This is actually very good. Matter of fact, Britt Baker looked a lot better here than she did against Mercedes Moné. Britt and Serena actually had a very nice back and forth. That just goes to show you how good Serena really is. And ultimately, Britt Baker gets the win with the lockjaw. Not really sure where they're going forward, but Queen Aminata and Serena Deeb, they are currently locked in a program right now. So I guess that should be a decent way to build up Aminata, but this was actually a very good women's match. I don't know where Britt Baker goes, to be quite honest with you. At this point in time, there really isn't anything left for Britt Baker to do. Britt Baker, the vibe surrounding Britt Baker, it's just a very, very bad vibe. Especially with all the reports coming around that Adam Cole, he is no longer with Britt Baker, and how Britt Baker's become just an egomaniac, above and beyond an egomaniac. It's just a bad vibe surrounding Britt Baker right now. It's sad. It's very sad. There's really nothing more that I could say as far as that relates. I don't know where Britt Baker goes. It's just a very, very off-putting vibe surrounding Britt Baker right now. Private Party, they beat the Iron Savages. And Private Party then challenged the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles. They teased doing the match in Pittsburgh. Matthew said that he is not wasting one of their dates on Pittsburgh. Perry then attacked. We got a 2-on-1 assault before Shibata came out, and Christopher Daniels made a trios match for Rampage on Friday. And then tonight on Collision, we actually have ourselves a match with Top Flight in the House of Black and Private Party, and the winners of this match will go on to fight the Young Bucks at Wrestle Dream for the Tag Team Championships. So that right there, more likely than not, is going to be Private Party. Now, what exactly will we see? I don't know. However, I'm going to throw out a bold prediction right here. And to be quite honest with you, this is probably the best route to go at this very moment. And some people may agree, some people may not. Private Party, they threw out the challenge to the Young Bucks, and now Private Party, more likely than not, is going to be challenging the Young Bucks. Now we are in a position where the Young Bucks, even though they've been putting on some good matches in recent weeks, the Young Bucks just aren't clicking right now. The Young Bucks, at this stage of the game, we need the Young Bucks to take an extended break. We need some new blood in the tag team division. So regardless of when it happens, more likely than not, it's going to be at Wrestle Dream. I'm giving Private Party the tag team titles. If you really want to invest in some new talent, have Private Party upset the Young Bucks at Wrestle Dream, have them win the tag team titles, and have Private Party go on a nice little run with the tag team titles going into next year, and let's get some new tag teams in the division. That is how you revitalize the tag team division, giving us Private Party winning the belts at Wrestle Dream. And then our main event, we had Kazuchika Okada and Bryan Danielson, part number 3. Before that, MVP was interviewed by Renee Paquette. He was interrupted by Nana, and MVP has introduced Shelton Benjamin. Now he is MVP's new business partner. He actually took Prince Nana's coffee, and Prince Nana actually makes pretty good coffee. Bryan Danielson and Okada, part number 3. It's a title for title match, and Okada's title was only on the line for the first 20 minutes because it was Continental Rules. In the end, it was Bryan that won. Very good match. Really was made out of nowhere, but I am glad that we ended up seeing a conclusion to the Bryan Danielson and Kazuchika Okada program. Looking forward to seeing what happens at Wrestle Dream. I do believe that if push comes to shove and things are done right, we're going to get ourselves perhaps the best Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson match that we've gotten. Maybe Moxley wins, maybe he doesn't. I'm going to go with no, and I do believe that the Tacoma Dome is going to be very, very rowdy for Bryan Danielson. So far, I believe that there's over 6,000 tickets sold. I do hope that they could sell out some more because there is a lot, and I mean a lot, more to be done with Bryan Danielson as the world champion. In the end, ultimately, Bryan won, and we saw Moxley's faction attack. And we saw Moxley go up in Bryan Danielson's face as Pac and Claudio are holding him back. Moxley said that I have to do this. And if it was up to me, I would have put you out years ago. Yuta then came out. Bryan, Moxley, Yuta, they all stood face to face. Bryan then attacked. Yuta and Claudio went at it. Yuta said he's sick of them treating him like a child. Next week, Title Tuesday. You want to step in the ring with me and Bryan? Let's do it. And we got ourselves a tag team match. It's an all champions tag team match going down on Title Tuesday. Should be fun. But that was the 5-year anniversary. Good show, not great show. Good show, not great show. Clearly, things are a little bit off, and that was strictly because coming out of All In, or All Out, really, coming out of All Out, things have not been at its best. Grand Slam was a very good show, but ultimately, things have been thrown together way too quickly. There hasn't been enough of a build towards Wrestle Dream. We'll see how things play out. We'll see how these things play out, but I do hope I do genuinely hope that we do see ourselves a decent Wrestle Dream event and things ultimately end up working out okay. I really do hope that if Shane McMahon ends up coming in, that he is going to help bring some structure to AEW, because it seems as though it's the same shit every week. We get great wrestling, we get some good promos here and there, but things don't feel as big as they should. Things aren't as lively, things aren't as intriguing, and it just doesn't click the way it should click, and things are disorganized. Feels like I'm complaining about the same shit every week. So I'm hoping that when Shane comes in, he does help overall from the structure and the creative and the marketing perspective. Let's take a little break before we get into SmackDown and Rampage. I want to shout out a couple more sponsorships. I'd like to shout out DNN Deli. We've talked about Italian food. We talked about some great desserts. We've talked about Mediterranean food. Now let's talk about some Peruvian food. We got some great Peruvian food over at DNN Deli, made by my main man, Will, and his great team over at DNN Deli. If you guys are looking for some great Peruvian cuisine, you guys should check out DNN Deli. Listen up, I'll tell you why. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you got a hankering for Peruvian food, come and visit my friend Will over at DNN Deli. Let me tell you something. They got themselves some fantastic homemade roast beef, homemade empanadas, straight out of Peru as well, so you know it is quality. Once again, that is DNN Deli here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, and don't forget to catch Battle in the Borough, Saturday, October 19th, 2024. Thank you very much to Will and the entire team over at DNN Deli for sponsoring Battle in the Borough and, of course, for sponsoring the DJ Storms brand. You guys are fucking awesome in every sense of the word. Let's take a break from the food for a little bit and let's talk about interior landscaping. Now, I know that a lot of people want to make their interior landscapes, whether it be a residential home or whether it be a corporate business, I know you want to make your interior look very, very presentable. Well, I got a great place for you to call so that way you guys can get some great interior landscaping services. I'm talking about Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, run by Mr. George Macbeth and his great team of interior landscape experts. You guys are looking for some great services and to help make the interiors of your residential homes or corporate businesses look presentable. All you need to do is check out Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to share a little bit of information with you. As many people know, plants are extremely critical to any interior design. Matter of fact, research indicates that good interior landscaping is not only desirable, but it is a must-do green initiative to keep customers both happy and healthy. Now, at Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, they believe that plants, they do more than just occupy a corner of a lobby. That is why they offer a full line of interior landscapes for both corporate and residential settings, from office plantscaping, living walls, moss walls, and even plant and orchid arrangement. Macbeth Farm is your go-to resource for all of your professional horticulture needs. You guys can contact Macbeth at 201-387-7997, or you can see all of their creations online at macbethfarm.com. That is MacBethFarm.com. Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, a family-owned business providing distinctive interior plantscaping for businesses across New Jersey and the Philadelphia area. Thank you very much one more time to George Macbeth and all the team members over at Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes for being an official sponsor for Battle in the Borough, which is going down in just 2 weeks. It is going to be fucking big. Just in 2 weeks, going down Battle in the Borough. Thank you very much one more time to all the team members over at Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes. If you guys are into some quality pizza, I'll tell you a good place to go. Vita's Pizza and Restaurant here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. They got some great pizza. So if you guys are in the mood for some great pizza, go over to Vito's Pizza and Restaurant. Listen up and I'll tell you why. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I am here in front of Vito's Pizza and Restaurant here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Some of the best pizza in Bergen County. If you're hungry, hell, even if you're not, come and stop by Vito's Pizza. And of course, be sure to catch Battle in the Borough on Saturday, October 19th, 2024. Tickets, $25 at the door. DM me or call 201-507-2577. Battle in the Borough is shaping up to be one hell of an event, I'm telling you. And I'm very, very happy to have all these sponsors. Thank you very much to Vito's Pizza and Restaurant. And finally, my last sponsorship that I would like to shout out, Toasted. Toasted Bagels, Deli, and Cafe, run by Safa and her great team over there. They are fairly new, and they are right across the street from Vito's Pizza and Restaurant. So if you want some breakfast, all you need to do is take a spin on over to Toasted, and then when you want lunch, then you go over across the street to Vito's. Listen to this word from your boy and Safa as to why you should go and check out Toasted. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. I am here with the owner of Toasted. Her name is Safa, and also her team.
Hi, guys.
Safa, how are you today?
I'm good.
Let me ask you, how long have you been living in Elmwood Park right now?
I was born and raised in Elmwood Park, so basically 20 years.
That's amazing. And tell us a little bit about Toasted.
So we are a woman-owned business. We're also Middle Eastern-owned. We come from a Middle Eastern background. We also have our smoke shop right next door, Moonstar Smoke Shop. We just saw this opportunity. We wanted to fill the gap. So we have a lot of experience in the food industry, and we thought it would be an amazing opportunity to open something for the whole family. So we're very excited to bring this to the Elmwood Park community, and thank you guys so much for all your support.
And the Elmwood Park community thanks you. Ladies and gentlemen, Safa and the team of Toasted. I'm the one and only DJ Storms. Be sure to get your tickets right now for Battle in the Borough on October 19th, 2024. Thank you very much to Safa and all the great team members over at Toasted for being the first actual sponsor for Battle in the Borough. We greatly appreciate you. Definitely means a lot. A lot of great sponsors, a lot of great people over here in New Jersey willing to support a good cause, especially to help benefit the Elmwood Park Food Pantry. And we got a lot of great matches. If you haven't been paying attention, we got some awesome fights going down 2 weeks from today. But that's in 2 weeks. We got ourselves 2 more shows to talk about, and then I'm actually going to get back to working out. I haven't worked out in a good while, and now it's time for me to get back into the swing of things. SmackDown was actually the best show of the week. Go figure. We actually got a very good show coming from Nashville in the Bridgestone Arena for SmackDown. AJ Styles, he kicked off the show, and he said that this is where it all started for him. He says he's done a lot of things that he regrets, but it's time to rebuild his legacy. And a lot of guys need to be reminded that this is still the house that AJ Styles built. So he's looking to turn babyface now. So out comes Carmelo Hayes. He says that after what you've done, he's not surprised that there aren't a lot of people back there ready to welcome you back. You know who I am. I am him. I am Carmelo Hayes. And believe it or not, I'm a huge fan. I love old timers like you. He says, guys like me deserve to be United States champion, not LA Knight. Styles says that LA Knight is relentless. He came to my house. We even had a match at WrestleMania. Melo said, listen, I don't need your advice. I don't take advice from quitters. So Styles then clapped back at Carmelo Hayes and he said, you know, if you were really him, you would be United States champion right now, wouldn't you? Melo then said, all right, if you were really phenomenal, wouldn't you be WWE champion right now? Styles then challenged Carmelo to a match. Melo declined. Out comes LA Knight, and LA Knight said, let me talk to you. We've been through the mill. You and me, Styles, and you've been telling everyone that you were retiring. I see Mello saying, I am him. You are him. You're the guy that's going to get stomped out. But it seems like Mello didn't want to take the challenge from AJ Styles. So I'll tell you what, if you can beat AJ Styles, I'll make a case to Nick Aldis that you should get a shot at the U.S. title. And after AJ Styles is done putting the bricks to you, you'll still hear everyone saying, L.A. Knight, yeah. So we finally get a new match, and it's Styles and Carmelo Hayes, which ultimately ended with the match being called off. The match was called off, and apparently, I didn't think that this was an angle. I thought that this was legit. But apparently, according to the reports, this was indeed an angle, and AJ Styles is fine. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they did that at all. My guess is the only reason why they did that is because now they are looking to start a new program. They're looking to start a new program, and we are going to see AJ Styles and Carmelo Hayes go at it. We're going to see AJ Styles and Carmelo Hayes go at it. And AJ Styles and Carmelo Hayes, they are going to be the next major undercard program after Carmelo is done with Andrade. Michin and Chelsea Green. This was a dumpster match. And this was actually a very good match. We had Michin using kendo sticks and sheet pans. We had a missile drop kick by Michin. Michin with a tornado DDT and a German suplex. Green with a Canadian destroyer. Michin was sent into the dumpster, but Green couldn't close the lid. Michin got out. We had an eat the feet. Trash can on Green's face. Diving senton onto Green while she was inside the trash can, which looked very nice. We had a table placed over the dumpster. In came Piper Niven. Piper Niven then drove herself into the dumpster. Back in the ring, Chelsea Green with a boot. She was looking for the unpretty her. Both women were on the apron, and Michin delivered a powerbomb off the apron to Chelsea Green, through the table, into the dumpster. Michin got out, and Michin ended up closing the lid. Chelsea Green loses to Michin. Michin wins the dumpster match. Very good match. Very, very, very good match from start to finish. And we got ourselves an undercard women's match worth investing our time in. Lo and behold. You see, this is exactly what we need. We need more matches like this. If we got this in the women's division on a weekly basis, then guess what? The WWE women's division is ultimately going to be looked at as more credible. This is how you build credibility. This is how you build legitimacy for your undercard women. We need more matches like this. Very good dumpster match. Michin gets the win. Bayley came out to address the crowd. She called out Nia Jax. She said that, hey, you can bring Tiffany with you. So Nia said, you got something to say? Say it straight to my face. Bayley said, for as long as I've known you, you never understood the importance of that title. I saw people hold that title like Molly Holly, Lita, Trish, and they all felt larger than life. But that ain't you. You're on to becoming one of the most dominant women in WWE. And there's only two women who can take that title from you. Me and your friend Tiffany. But it ain't because she's good enough. It's because of that briefcase. So Tiffany was pissed. She said that she doesn't need the briefcase to beat Nia. Bayley then laughed and said that she had zero respect for Tiffany. And I'd rather bow down to a queen than patronize a stupid bitch. So we saw a brawl. Bayley stood tall, held the title in her hand. Had some decent stuff there. Very, very decent stuff. Tiffany was teasing a cash-in, but she ultimately didn't do it. So her and Nia obviously are having some problems. We then go into a match between Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. And Naomi ended up getting the win. Decent match there. Ultimately, it's fucking stupid because WWE playing the same tired factor over and over again because, hey, we got Tiffany holding the Money in the Bank briefcase, so she doesn't really need to look strong at all. And that's pretty much that. Now, here's what I will say. The one thing that I really don't understand, I really do not understand why they're teasing Tiffany Stratton as a babyface. I really don't know why they're teasing Tiffany Stratton as a babyface. Tiffany is not a babyface. Braun Breaker, listen, you want to turn Braun Breaker babyface, I get that to a certain extent because Braun can be a good babyface, but it's not Braun's time to be a babyface at this moment. Braun Breaker should still be Intercontinental Champion. He should still be a heel right now. But as far as Tiffany goes, I am sorry. You're not going to sell anyone, and I mean you're not going to sell anyone on Tiffany Stratton as a babyface. She'll be cheered when she beats Nia, but ultimately she is not going to be cheered following the cash-in on Nia. She's going to be right back to being the pretty girl heel that you just love to hate. She is a mean girl. She is literally the definition of a mean girl turned pro wrestler. Why is she in a position where she is being placed as a babyface? Tiffany's not a babyface. People need to understand that. Tiffany Stratton is not a babyface, and she will never be a babyface, at least not now. But either way, listen, it was a good night for women's wrestling, and it was also a very good night for tag team wrestling. It was also a very, very, very good night for tag team wrestling. Because the main event, we saw the Bloodline, DIY, and the Street Profits triple threat ladder match for the WWE Tag Team titles. And my, oh my, this was an excellent, excellent match. I don't understand why this wasn't on Bad Blood. I don't understand why this wasn't on Bad Blood at all. I don't. Seriously. This should have been on Bad Blood. This was a pay-per-view worthy match if I've ever seen it. All three of these teams worked their asses off here. Right out of the gate, the Bloodline were ganged up on by the Profits and DIY. Dawkins was sent into all of the teams as they went after the gold, sent into the ladder, catapult by Tama Tonga, sending Ciampa head first into the ladder. We had a Tope Atomico onto Dawkins, onto a ladder. Dawkins with a Tope Atomico onto the ladder to the floor. The Tongans were down. Ford with a Tope Con Hero onto the pile. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." DIY with a Shatter Machine, meeting in the middle with the ladder wrapped around Tonga Loa's head. Gargano went for it, but Dawkins stopped him. Silencer by Dawkins, knee by Ciampa. Ford leaped onto the ladder. Blockbuster electric chair combo. DIY hit the Bloodline with some chairs. Tonga Loa was put onto a standard table, and Ford with a big frog splash threw Tonga Loa through the table. Tama Tonga ended up catching a triple powerbomb through the announce table. So then it was DIY. They were going for it. Ford leaped from the ropes onto the ladder. Very nicely done. And Montez Ford and Tommaso Ciampa went at it. Up came Angelo Dawkins and Johnny Gargano. Ciampa and Dawkins went crashing through a ladder. Tonga Loa then came in, and Tonga Loa tipped the ladder, sending Ford and Gargano through it. Tonga Loa then climbed the ladder while Tama Tonga held it, and ultimately the Bloodline unhooked the titles and won the ladder match, retaining the championships in an excellent, excellent ladder match. This is the type of material that we need to see from the Bloodline. This is exactly what is going to make the tag team division feel meaningful. So far, SmackDown seems to have the most flourishing tag team division. We'll have to see what else will be on the table, but at this very moment, it seems as though SmackDown may have the best tag team division. I'd like to hope that AEW might be able to rebound if Private Party wins the titles and Private Party potentially joins up with Swerve Strickland. That was SmackDown, probably the best show of the week. Rampage actually wasn't that bad. I'm not going to lie. If Rampage is going to be canceled, I guess they're giving us some decent shows. We actually got a decent episode of Rampage. Not necessarily the best, but it was decent for what it was. The Elite, they took on Katsuyori Shibata and Private Party. This was probably the best Rampage match in months. And it was Private Party that ended up upsetting the Young Bucks. Private Party get the win for their team in a very, very, very good trios match. And Private Party seemed to be riding a wave of momentum going into Wrestle Dream. And if it was up to me, I am giving Private Party the win at Wrestle Dream, and I'm giving them the tag team titles. Camille and Mercedes Moné. Before Camille's squash match, we actually saw Camille and Mercedes. They actually had a run-in with Chris Statlander. So it looks like Chris Statlander could be next in line to fight Mercedes Moné. And if that's the match at Wrestle Dream, guess what? I'm not going to sit here and complain. That is something that I can get behind. Statlander and Moné, that is one hell of a match. So Camille defeated Zoe Lynn convincingly. Harley Cameron and Queen Aminata. Not a bad match right here. Queen Aminata ultimately won. And the feud with Deeb is continuing. Not really sure where Queen Aminata is going to go from here. Main event. Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly versus Big Bill and Brian Keith. This was a fine match. Obviously, the learning tree gimmick, it's really run its course. People are sick and tired of it. But this wasn't a bad match whatsoever. This resulted in a high-low combination, and the conglomeration ended up taking the victory here over the learning tree branches. And this obviously is leading towards the match at Wrestle Dream between Mark Briscoe and Chris Jericho. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all that I got for you. That is it for this episode of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who decided to stop by and join. You guys are awesome. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. You guys make being DJ Storms worthwhile. Thank you very much to Michael Vasquez, Mick Chelsea, Grega John, and the Final Hoss. You guys are awesome. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Get in your super chats. Get in your super stickers. Get in your super thanks. We have peaked 2,600 subs, and we are looking down the barrel of 2,700 subs. So if you guys want to help support, all you need to do is subscribe. And, of course, you got to make sure you share the stream out. Get as many people in here as possible. It's incredibly vital that you do so. Do not forget to check out all the links in the description. Get your tickets for Battle in the Borough in 2 weeks on October 19th, 2024. It's going to be historic. It's going to be absolutely historic, and you guys are going to be witness to history. Believe me when I tell you, it is going to be glorious. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, my name is DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. But before we get out of here, a very important question that all must answer. No matter who you are, you all must answer this question. And the question is, who runs the IWC? It's very vital that you answer this question because this determines just how educated you are as a professional wrestling fan. Because here's the thing, I know the answer, and a lot of people over here know the answer, but I'll tell you anyway. I will tell you who runs the IWC just so that way you get the picture here. It is who but DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you ever forget it.
Retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution! Yeah, we ran out of patience for your love with the